Welcome back to CityLine. Joining us now from the Tacoma Opera, is Lim Forgy, the interim general manager, and Robert McPherson, one of the stars of the stage. So first of all, Lim, you're stepping into general manager of Tacoma Opera. What inspired you to take on this role?
That's a great question. One of the things that I've always loved about Tacoma Opera is that they have a legacy of excellence. They've been serving this community in the classical musical realm since 1968. And they've just been known for producing wonderful, important, and powerful works. So when I heard that a position was opened and they contacted me, I was inspired to be a part of their vision. But on a personal level, the first opera I ever saw before I started my career was Tacoma Opera's production of The Barber of Seville, and it really inspired me to go out into the world and sing.
Awesome. So tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so I've been singing nationally and internationally for about 25 years, and I've traveled the world and have sung with some of the greatest musicians and some of the best orchestras. And I've also been producing large-scale opera, ballet, musical theater, and classical concerts for the last 25 years. So I've been on both sides of the production fence, you might say.
Very good. So the season kicks off on October 29th and 30th of this month with the Drunken Tenor's Operapalooza Spectacular Shindig at Theater on the Square. How was that one chosen to begin your season?
Well, when the previous general manager retired, the board found themselves in between sort of leadership, and they started to reach out to some of their colleagues. And when Robert McPherson came to us and said, you know, I have this show that I think would be wonderful for your season, we just jumped at it. And he's Grammy Award-winning Metropolitan Opera star Robert McPherson, and he has a great following, and everybody in opera and musical theater knows who he is and respects him. So we were just so honored to partner with Robert in this production.
Very nice. Nice segue too, Robert. You are the star of the Drunken Tenor Operapalooza Spectacular Shindig.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Well, the Drunken Tenor specifically was created as a way to demystify and break down some of the stereotypes that people have about opera by using, of course, singing, but also sketch comedy and stand-up. It creates this fast-paced, eclectic comedic evening. And one of the things I'm really proud of is, regardless of your background, if you're a novice to opera, doesn't matter. You show up, that's the last work you have to do. But if you're a longtime opera aficionado, you're going to hear some of the greatest tunes in the repertoire. You know, you might even hear a little bit of, like, you know, Nessun dorma, nessun dorma, you know, a little bit of stuff like that. But specifically, the Tacoma Opera Operapalooza Spectacular Shindig is even different. The original show was a trio, a soprano and a tenor and piano. This will be the largest cast I've ever assembled for a Drunken Tenor performance. I was reading recently that they said nostalgia is the comfort we need right now. That's one of the reasons why you have so many reboots or sequels that are coming out. While the show will be unique and interesting, I wanted it to also be familiar. And that's why we're kind of doing it like an old school variety show. Kind of like Dean Martin, Laugh-In, or even Donnie and Marie.
Right.
So yeah, there will be this unique performance, and I've never done anything like it. So it's going to be the very first time doing this shindig.
Now, for those out there that fear that opera is in Latin and I won't know what's going on, how would you respond to that?
You don't have to know any of the languages, because I do a lot of things in English, but regardless if you know what I'm singing about, you'll know what the scene is about. And that's why it's again, like, Saturday Night Live, when they do these sketches, that's what I was trying to create, where, again, you don't have to know anything. I took it to the Seattle Fringe Festival, which is not an opera crowd, and I won Best of Fringe in 2017.
Nice.
So I really am passionate that you show up, that's the last amount of work you have to do. I will take care of you.
Nice. Now, Lim gave you a nice introduction, and you just mentioned the Fringe Award, but tell us a little bit more about your background.
Well, I'm as local a yokel as they come. I was born in Seattle, raised in Federal Way, and went to the university here, Puget Sound in Tacoma. But I was a Pentecostal preacher's kid. So I grew up singing gospel. After college, I was a working actor in Seattle for a number of years, and did studio musician work, background vocals, jingles, concerts around the area. But then there came a time where I started to focus solely on opera. And it was like the universe said, we've been waiting for you. And I've had a good career. But lately I've been a little bit more at home, a little bit more local. I still work internationally, but it's been nice to do a little bit more in my own backyard.
Very nice. Well, now is an opportunity for you to tell us a little bit more about the 6 other singers that are helping you in the Shindig.
Yes. Like I said, normally it was like me and myself and a soprano. For this one, we have 2 sopranos. We have Ksenia Popova, Serena Edgewy. We have a mezzo, Melina Pyron, Stephen Rumpf is the tenor. You get 2 tenors in this one. And John B. Cooper is the baritone. What's been fun about that is I've been able to bring some singers that have a history with Tacoma Opera, that have sung with the company, over the last few decades. So that was important to me. But also, besides being great performers, every one of them in their own right, they're also people I love to work with. When choosing a cast, I was able to kind of have people fill different needs comedically. And I'm very proud of the group that we've put together.
Very nice. So, Lim, what kinds of other changes are taking place in the company?
Well, Tacoma Opera is entering an exciting new chapter of our existence. One of the things that we're looking at is that we're recommitting to our regional artists, because we believe that some of the greatest singers in the world live right here in the Pacific Northwest. So we want to connect and work with more closely with some of our great regional singers. Further, we are taking opera specifically into places that we've never gone before. We're going into Raymond Hall, and we're singing for the Juvenile Detention Center for young kids. I'm working to get us into the women's prison, and we're also coordinating with some philanthropic people in our community who are sponsoring at-risk and low-income kids to come to the opera. We're going to provide them with free tickets, backstage passes, a wonderful dinner, and a t-shirt. We're going to commit to them long term. So we believe that opera is transformational, and that if we can, especially with young kids, if we can inspire their lives and change the trajectory of their life by just 1 degree, we can make a big difference. And so we're connecting to the community in a bigger way.
Very nice. So what comes after the big Shindig here?
Well, the Shindig is going to kick things off with a nice breath of fresh air, and I'm so excited about that. We're going to move into 2 more collaborative works. The next one is February 11th and 12th, and that is with Tacoma City Ballet and a wonderful Carmina Burana, and that's going to be at the Pantages Theater. And then we're going to present a new work by Gregory Yutz and Zhang Er, and that work is called Tacoma Method, and it details the 1885 expulsion of Chinese citizens from Tacoma. And it's an important and powerful work, and we're coordinating with lots of singers from the United States, actually, and many of them are Asian Americans, and we're very proud of the diversity of that cast.
Wow, that sounds very powerful.
It's going to be great.
So who would you like to thank as you talk about Tacoma Opera?
Who I'd really like to thank is first my beautiful wife, Havala, and my children. They have been on this crazy life ride with me, and they're They're the center of who I am, but also the amazing patrons and the amazing supporters of Tacoma Opera. We can't thank you enough for being with us on this incredible journey since 1968. And our unbelievable board who has seen us through COVID, through the retirement of our beloved last general manager, and who have the tenacity to move us into a fantastic future.
Nice. So where do people get tickets for the, let's see, how do I say it again? The Drunken Tenors Operapalooza.
Spectacular Shindig.
There you go. In the announcer voice even.
There's a couple of different ways. You can go to tacomaopera.org, and there are links there that'll take you right to ticketing, or you can call Ticketmaster, and they can help you. But if you contact Tacoma Opera's phone number too, we can help you navigate. I know some of our clientele have trouble with Ticketmaster and sort of that process, so we're here to help you to navigate those waters.
Excellent. Now, you didn't mention the auction. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, well, November...
Final minute.
The final minute, we have our annual fantastic Capriccio auction, November the 12th at 5:30 at the Tacoma Country Club, and it's a time when the supporters of Tacoma Opera can come, can help inspire our future with not only their voice, but their contribution, and we're going to unveil our next season, which is going to be a doozy.
Sounds great.
One last thing.
Yeah.
For the Operapalooza Spectacular Shindig, there's also a costume competition.
Ooh.
So get ready for that.
So the patrons wear costumes?
Yes, it's Halloween weekend.
Oh my
So you show up to the theater, bring a costume. How many times as an adult do you get to dress up?
And it doesn't have to be opera related.
No, whatever you want.
I'm going as a general manager.
Well, very good. All right. Well, thanks, guys. Lim Forgy, the interim general manager at Tacoma Opera, and Robert McPherson, star of the tenor Operapalooza Spectacular Shindig. Thanks for being here today. I really appreciate your time and break a leg, as they say.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Yep. And we'll be back with more in just a moment.